Lucky week 13 wasn't lucky for everybody. We'll talk about all that and more as we go over my power rankings. But what's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo. Just in case you did not know, so go ahead, become bro and subscribe. Leave this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the content. As always, let me know what you think in the comment section below, where we have that nice, beautiful football discourse. If you're not familiar with how we do power rankings on the channel, I separate it into 5 tiers, with the bottom tier being bottom of the league, bottom of the barrel, losers even. The tier right above that I call could be but unlikely, teams that can maybe play spoiler down the stretch, but overall they're not very good. They're just a tier above the bottom. And then this middle tier is playoff contenders, teams that will be probably vying for the playoffs. Right above that I got playoff teams I'm basically 100% sure will be in the postseason. And then, of course, your Super Bowl contenders. We got to start at the bottom. We're going to start with the Carolina Panthers, number 32. Worst team in the league. Actually, almost got a win this week. It was literally raining everywhere, though. Messy conditions for all. But it's literally, this game against the Bucs was just more of what you've seen this season. Bryce Young making a good throw here and there, but overall, not great. The offensive line, not great. The pass catchers, not great. They can't separate. It's just more of the same. Right ahead of them, honestly, contemplated putting the Patriots, dropping them to 32, but I got them one spot ahead of the Panthers. They have scored, they have only allowed 26 points in the last 3 weeks. They are 0-3 in those games. They lose 6-0. Oh, it was a tough game to watch. That's why you watch the condensed version, if you're like me. And yeah, it was just bad. Bailey Zappi, this was his first start of the season, and the offense was bad. Ramondre Stevenson's probably going to be out for the remainder of the year, or close to, with an ankle injury. And like the one positive, it seemed like this Patriots team, the one positive play they had on offense ended up being just a dropped ball by Tyquan Thornton. It was just bad. And then at number 30, I have the New York Football Giants. The G-Men, they were on a bye. Enjoy. I mean, shoot, Tommy DeVito's hot, man. Maybe they go on a little run at the end of the season. We'll see. Maybe they move up this list a little bit. Arizona Cardinals did get a dub. They had 2 rain delays against the Steelers. It didn't matter much. James Conner, in his return to Pittsburgh, he played exceptionally well. Good on them. Obviously, big injury kind of caused some issues for the Steelers. We'll talk about that when we get to the Steelers, though. I do have the Jets dropping down into this tier this week. This defense is great. Everyone knows that. But Tim Boyle, bad. They go to Trevor Siemian, and somehow it was worse. And now they're thinking maybe going back to Zach Wilson. It is a lost season. Sorry, Jets fans. You'll get A-Rod back next season. I don't think he's coming back this season. Even if he could, I don't think he will. And then I am going to move the Washington Commanders to this bottom tier as well. They got boat raced by the Miami Dolphins. That was to be expected. Scary. Terry McLaurin got a lot of cardio, in his words. Done no receptions. And a lot of that was just because the defense sucks so bad for Washington. The Dolphins were able to run the football very effectively and controlled the time of possession. It was a bad look for the Washington Commanders. And even so Sam Howell throws a pick 6 in this game. Might not even be his fault. Like, Van Ginkel got off of thinking Andrew Wiley, like, no problems, got in the way of the ball. So, yeah, sucks to be a Washington fan. Let's go ahead and move up to this could be but unlikely tier. I'm going to put the Tennessee Titans. They were initially bottom of the league. Still feel like they probably belong there, but this is a team that's tough to beat at home, as long as that home game's not in London. But even then, they actually played pretty competitively. I think that was against the Ravens But Will Levis balled kind of in this game. So I thought he threw a pick, right? Ends up being a fumble, right? It just gets knocked out of his hand and thrown forward. He gets knocked to the ground, but he gets up and he's able to meet the guy who jumps on the ball, force the fumble, and recover it. Freaking wild. He had a midair, like, jumping for a first down. Like, it was wild. This was actually a very, very entertaining game. The story of the game is probably the special teams for Tennessee, as you had essentially 2 blocked punts. The last one ended up being actually a forced fumble, but it caused Ryan Stonehouse to get hurt. He's out for the remainder of the year. Then Ryan Tannehill had to come in and be the holder. Nick Folk had to punt the rest of the game. You had the PAT that would have made it a 1-score game, or would have put them up by one touch or 1 point. It doesn't go through, and Ryan Tannehill went ahead, took the blame on that, didn't hold it right. And then after the game, you get the special teams coordinator fired. So, very interesting game, I'll say that. Derrick Henry did get concussed, and Tajay Spears stepped in and looked real good. Chicago Bears also on their bye. They got them 1 spot ahead. Honestly, looking forward to seeing how they look next weekend. Seeing this little last stretch with Justin Fields. That's kind of the $1 million question. People are torn on it. Should the Bears draft quarterback, or should they continue to build around Fields? And I'm honestly already done with the discourse. I'm done with people talking about it. The Raiders also on a bye, so they don't move, I think, really at all here in my power rankings. They're in this could be but unlikely tier. They're playing really hard for Antonio Pierce, but all in all, I still don't think they are a good team, but could be headed in the right direction. Obviously, the first move of getting rid of Josh McDaniels made a world of difference. Right ahead of them, man, Chargers scored 6 points this week and won. The offense don't look good, man. Like, a lot of drops by the receivers. A lot of drops, but they were luckily enough, the Patriots offense sucks really bad, so the defense didn't have to do much. Khalil Mack looked pretty solid in this game. But yeah, no, I guess Brandon Staley survives another week. Right ahead of them, I'm going to have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They got by the Panthers. Stinking Mike Evans had 80% of the Baker Mayfield's passing yards. That was nice, but yeah, they feel very mediocre. It's not a great feeling here. They're also pretty beat up on defense. Right ahead of them, though, I'm going to put the Saints. You got another Derek Carr concussion. This time it happened in early into the fourth quarter. But it was a wild game with the Lions. It looked like they were about to get demolished, and then they kind of inched their way back in the game, and then Derek Carr fumbles a snap, leads to a jet sweep by Jameson Williams for a touchdown. And just from there, the Saints couldn't really get it going. You had people in the Superdome just booing the heck whenever Derek Carr took the field. The people have spoken. They have spoken. I got one more in this could be but unlikely tier, and it's the Cincinnati Bengals. They beat the Jaguars in Duval, and you can't really blame the injury to Trevor Lawrence. I mean, you can to an extent, at least I guess down to the later part of the game, but the offense functioned well, and the Jaguars are a relatively solid defense. So this was a very impressive showing for the Bengals, for Jack Browning. Jamar Chase had a phenomenal game. The defense played. We'll go with that. They did enough to win this ball game in overtime. The bigger story, obviously, is with the Jags and potentially Trevor Lawrence missing games. We'll talk about that a little later, but we're going to go ahead and move up to this playoff contender tier, and I got the Atlanta Falcons. They're probably going to win their division, but they're not a very good team. Jesse Bates continues to be a stud. Love that, but man, I get it. The conditions weren't great, but Desmond Ridder is obviously not it. He honestly had one really good drive. I think it was right after they got the safety, which, golly, go and look at that play, man. They legit, Atlanta just got dominated up front. But you had a couple of nice passes from him that eventually leads to the touchdown, and that's really all they needed. They're just not a good team, but they're going to end up winning their division. Right in front of them, I have the Minnesota Vikings. They were off this week. They are on the roller coaster known as Josh Dobbs, but they will be getting Justin Jefferson back. So be on the look for that. Right after that, I got the Denver Broncos. Broncos tough loss against the Texans. Very up and down game from Russell Wilson. While he was making some really nice throws, there were times where he was just making some really bad decisions. For instance, the throw to win it, he forces a pass in the end zone that's intercepted by Jimmy Ward. It was almost directly to Jimmy Ward. Granted, there was a tight end behind him, but you just don't make that throw. It cost him the game. So, rough luck. Seattle Seahawks, they played Thursday night. They played a really competitive game against the Dallas Cowboys. It could have gone whichever way. DK went off. Real fun. Probably one of the best Thursday night games we've had this year. Oh, golly. Now that I'll get to it with the Steelers, but I don't know if I'm streaming Thursday Night Football this week, guys. Just going to throw that out there. But the Seahawks, they find themselves in an interesting spot on the outside looking in when it comes to this playoff race. And it's not like their schedule gets any easier down the stretch. Right in front of them, I'm going to have the Cleveland Browns. Joe Flacco looked all right, but you also have to deal with some of the bad decisions that Flacco makes because a lot of times they turn into turnovers. That's just where he is right now. It's a shame. The defense got a little exploited. Remember, Myles Garrett came into this game hurt with the hurt shoulder, and you could tell he wasn't as effective as he normally is. But I mean, there were a couple of injuries there for the Browns, but facing off against Sean McVay and the Rams, a team that loves using a lot of motion, and you can tell that motion and misdirection caused a lot of problems for the Browns defensively. A very aggressive defense, but it did end up biting them in the butt as the Rams were able to get a lot of explosive plays. So yeah, Colts, they won in overtime. Good on them. I kind of explained the highlights, I guess, so to speak. A lot of it was you had the block punt for a touchdown, and then the block punt fumble recovery that put them into scoring position. They also had they threw, Gardner Minshew threw a pick two on a 2-point conversion after they scored, I think, on that special team, on that block touch. I can't remember the order of which, but Baker, honestly, Minshew Mania cooked a little bit, especially in overtime on that last drive, being able to connect deep with Alec Pierce and then getting Michael Pittman in the end zone. And this was a game where Zach Moss, they couldn't get it going on the ground. So Minshew was like, to hell with it. Put the game on my back. And essentially did. And paid off. We got the LA Rams right in front of them. Honestly, this defense, for as much as I like to say, it's Aaron Donald and friends, not that bad. Not half bad. Pretty good showing against, I know it's the Browns down to, this is the fourth different quarterback to start this season. But still, it was a good performance. Aaron Donald, did Aaron Donald things. You had the long pass to Puka Nacua. Kyron Williams was able to get going, not like he did last week, but he was able to do some damage in this game, whether it was on the ground or through the air. And I've been saying, man, the Rams are a sneaky offense. Like I came into this year like, I got them at like 30, like the second worst team potentially. But like if this offense, if Matthew Stafford could turn back the clock a season, and you watch out, man, this is a team that could get some sneaky wins. I'm more surprised that they're in playoff contention. And them being able to sweep the Seahawks is a big reason why they're this far up on the list. And then my final team in this section is the Pittsburgh Steelers. They lost Kenny Pickett relatively early in this game. This game had 2 weather delays, and guess what? The offense couldn't do nothing after that. Kenny Pickett, I believe they said they're going to put him on IR, so that puts him out for the next 4 weeks. Here, let me just confirm that. I'm pretty sure they sent Kenny Pickett to IR. Wait. Okay, undergoes ankle surgery, not expected to be placed on IR. Maybe I was thinking of Tank Dell, who did get placed on season-ending IR. So maybe we'll see Kenny Pickett back. The ankle injury, I heard, it's probably going to be a tightrope surgery, so that'll probably put him out like 2 to 3 weeks. So yeah, we'll see, man. But that was wild. This was honestly another game. I think they outgained the Cardinals in this game. They just can't finish, and obviously that became a bit harder to do when you have Mitch Trubisky back there. So I don't know, man. This is Mike Tomlin. He's gonna drag this team to the playoffs. But before we get to those playoff teams, I want to give a shout out to Underdog Fantasy. When you sign up using promo code Broshmo, they will match that first deposit up to $100, $1 a dues. It's the best place to play weekly best ball, or my favorite, higher or lower on player props. And they don't just do football, they do a variety of other sports. We're now into the basketball season, so if you like basketball, hey, go check out some of their player props with that. But remember, sign up, use a promo code Broshmo. But as always, bet responsibly, bet within your means. Playoff teams. First one that I have here is going to be the Green Bay Packers. Hello, watch out. They're hot. Jordan Love looked like an absolute stud. He couldn't miss. He was a well-oiled machine. I haven't seen him be this accurate this season, and he was. Christian Watson did go down with another hamstring injury, so don't know if he might be out for a prolonged time, but I think it's fine, man. I think it's fine. These young playmakers are stepping up for the squad. Your Tucker Kraft, who again, Luke Musgrave, I think he's out. He's on IR with like a lacerated kidney or something. Dontavian Wicks. They have Jaden Reed. They have Romeo Dubs. Is a team whose young playmakers are starting to step up. Aaron Jones, we don't know when. I think he might be coming back in the next few weeks. So that's just another playmaker to add to it. And this defense, while they're banged up like in the secondary, you got like Jair Alexander just missed another game. Again, they're having other players like step up. Your Jonathan Owens, Carrington Valentine, and such. So watch out. Packers feel like a playoff team. Right in front of them, I got the Buffalo Bills. I know right now they're on the outside looking in, but there's so much talent on this squad. I'm not willing to bet against them. I'm not going to bet against Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. I just won't do that. I think they could sneak in, especially with all the injuries at quarterback that have happened. I mean, look at this. Look at the other playoff contenders here. Kenny Pickett gone down. Anthony Richardson went down. Gardner Minshew, though, capable. They're down. The Browns are down to Joe Flacco. Is Russ cooking? He was for a little bit, and then he wasn't. So, like, yeah, I'm not going to bet against the Buffalo Bills. Right in front of them, though, I do have the Houston Texans. It does suck that they lost Tank Dell for the remainder of the year. Nico Collins, though, he stepped up, looked great. This defense is playing amazing. Derek Stingley had a banger game. Will Anderson had a banger game. CJ Stroud continues to play exceptionally well. So watch out. I think the Texans are going to be playoff bound. Right in front of them, I'm going to put the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, this wasn't the prettiest game, at least defensively, to start out with. Like, okay, Jake Browning's coming out and keeping pace and even taking the lead against Trevor Lawrence. But Trevor Lawrence was like, hey, I am too much. I am too good. And they took the lead. It was like 28-21. And then they were driving again. And you have, I think it was Walker Little, his own tackle, accidentally gets pushed into him and steps on the ankle of Trevor Lawrence, and then he gets bent back because then the defender rolls into him. But I think I've seen some people say, oh, it might be an MCL. Report just came out tonight that it seems to be ankle sprain. So I don't know how long he's going to be out. Like, this was a team I was probably going to push in the Super Bowl contender tier, but until we get a timeline on Trevor Lawrence, I don't feel comfortable dropping them just yet. Though technically I did drop them one spot because then they eventually lose in OT to the Bengals. I don't think that would have been the case if Lawrence didn't get hurt. Oh, Christian Kirk got hurt in this game too, like on his first reception. He pulled his groin or something. Detroit Lions, their defense continues to be a mystery. Not really. Their defense continues to, give up in parts of the game. Not give up, but give up big plays or let the other team back in it. Jared Goff, though, he has looked much better than he has the prior couple of weeks. But so still willing to bet, man. I mean, this Detroit team, they are a playoff team. My only question is, are they in that upper echelon of Super Bowl contenders? I'm not quite as sold on that, but this is a Detroit team trending in the right direction. It's been a very, very marvelous rebuild by this organization, Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell. They've done a great job. Going to the Super Bowl contender tier, put the Dallas Cowboys in here. Will they do well in the playoffs? Can they advance past the divisional round? I don't know, but in season right now, they look darn near unstoppable. Dak is playing at an MVP level. CeeDee Lamb is him. Jake Ferguson, not half bad, and the defense is flying everywhere. Even when Deron Bland has a bad game, kind of gets eaten alive by DK Metcalf, he still manages to get an interception in this game. Kind of wild. So I got them right here. Right in front of them, I have the Miami Dolphins, basically the Dallas Cowboys of the AFC, or you could say the Dallas Cowboys are the Dolphins of the NFC. It'd be vice versa. It kind of feels true, but I feel like the Dolphins defense has really turned it on like the last month. Tyreek Hill and Tua are just they're gonna make history together. Tyreek's gonna make a strong push to be an MVP candidate, and I think he has a great case. I don't think the NFL would do it though. It was nice to see Devon Achane come in and have 2 touchdowns. I think he had like 70 some yards. The offense just looked unstoppable, and they have almost all season. Right in front of the Dolphins, at number 4, I have the Kansas City Chiefs. They took the L in Lambeau, right in front of Taylor Swift. No, how could you? I know a lot of people are going to be talking about, we're talking about the final drive there. And, I mean, yeah, no, the refs have sucked this year. It kind of is what it is. You had Mahomes running out of bounds, though he wasn't out of bounds yet, and then they call hit out of bounds. I think that one was kind of dumb. They missed the obvious pass interference. I forgot who it would have been on, but it was basically a defender draped over the back of MVS. You also had MVS going backwards out of bounds. Should have been a running clock. I don't know. Ultimately, in the end, I thought the better team on that night won, which was the Packers. It felt like the Chiefs' defense was losing a player every play, and not saying like lost for the game. I mean, they had cases where guys like Charles Omenihu, he stepped out for like a play or two because he got banged up. But it felt like they were just constantly getting hurt, and they just had no answer for Jordan Love. But I mean, this being Mahomes, this being the Chiefs, they're never truly out of a game. or at least it never feels that way. So I'm not going to dock them too hard for this loss yet. Right in front of them, Baltimore Ravens. Enjoy your week off. You deserve it. You're a really good team. I'll see you next week. Oh, man. Oh, people in the comments were mad when I put the Philadelphia Eagles here at number 2 last week. Oh, how are you going to put the one-loss Eagles behind the 49ers? Oh, I think 49ers are a better team. How can you say that? Well, now I can say it. Niners just walked into your home and said, shut up, we're here. As long as we have someone that can throw the ball, we're going to beat the pants off of you. Maybe not quite like that. One of the big stories in here was when you had Trey Greenlaw body slamming Devontae Smith on the sideline, and that caused a ruckus along the Eagles sideline, where I guess, I don't know, you had the head of security in there, Dom, I think is his name. I don't know if he was mouthing off. I'm sure a lot of people were mouthing off, and I think Greenlaw was going to like point at Devontae Smith, and he accidentally popped Dom in the face, and they both get ejected. Tell me how that's fair. How's that fair? Okay, well, Eagles head of security, you got to get him out of here. Oh, by the way, you Niners, you lose one of your better defensive players. Like Trey Greenlaw's a stud. Is what it is. Didn't really matter. Debo, he went off in this game. He was, I'm pretty sure, for about 90% of this game, he was waving to the crowd. So yeah, Philly probably loved him, but I mean, I'm literally talking about both these teams at once. Listen, guys. I think these are the 2 best teams in the NFL right now. I really do. I think if you play this game again, you could get a different outcome. They're both very, very good. Someone got a little butthurt when I made the joke about the flags and the penalties with the Eagles. Shut up. If you didn't like the joke, then it's not for you. Move along. Came in here, I can't believe you said something like that. I can't believe you don't know how to laugh. Look at me, now I'm venting off. I'm not even talking about these teams. Brock Purdy looked great. Did he throw a pass over 15 yards? No, but he didn't need to. He was pinpoint accurate, got into the hands of his playmakers, and they did the rest. It works to a T. There's a lot of playmakers on this Niner offense. Speaking of which, defensively, the Niners won the trench battle. They won the battle in the trenches. They were consistently getting pressure on Jalen Hurts. Hurts was, I think, pressured on 31% of his dropbacks. Hurts also left the game, got checked for a concussion, was able to return. Didn't really matter much. Again, the Niners were in full control here. So I got to put them at 1. Fun fact, they were at 1 last week. Try to complain about it now, Eagles fans. Try. And I don't even know if it was Eagles fans in the comment section. Might have just been some troll, who knows. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. That's it for the video. This is the power rankings, the perfect power rankings, the most perfect power rankings you will ever see in your life. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.